other different types of dementia, and depending upon where the difficulties lie, that in the illness determines the course of treatment.
Yes, you can. All you have to do is want to do it.
Yes.
Want to be it.
Then you set your mind to it, and this is who you are, and
the grown men. We have the youth that we need to mentor, and we need to inspire, and we need to motivate. But I know, as a recent conversation between you and I, that you're also in the business of motivating grown men. Through that, I'm supposed to see God in it at every turn. So me going to the Sea of Galilee was to remind me of that, to refresh myself of that. It is all under control, that He does have it. It's just as clear as that fresh water that I saw.
You're Our Unity, hosted by LeShawn Walker, Tuesday nights, 6 p.m. PST.
Welcome, everyone, to You're Our Unity, a show that wishes to spread a spirit of peace and love in the world, one conversation at a time. We want to encourage you to take a walk. Take a walk and reflect on who you are and how you came to be, and where you came from. Take some time and remember the people before you, your ancestors, your great-grandparents, and all that they did and all that they sacrificed for the very person that you are today. Stand proud in that person, love that person, because you know they prayed for you and all that you are today. If you were privileged, please enjoy the successes and enjoy the beauty of your life. And if you went through some challenges, use those challenges and adversities that they experienced to strengthen you today. I am your host, LeShawn Walker. I'd like to welcome you in. Please like, share, and follow. Let everyone know we're on. Tag a friend. Go out and share it to the world that LeShawn Walker and You're Our Unity is on right now. We are so happy to have you here. We have an amazing show. It's been an amazing week for me, actually. I had a busy weekend this past week. I jumped into June just like, I don't know, like I'm on fire. I am ready for all that this month has to offer. I'm ready to celebrate the amazing things that my people have accomplished and are doing in this world. I want to also celebrate the fathers as well, so we'll be hearing from them a little later. But yeah, it's been a busy week, and I hope you guys, jumped into June with that much fire as well, and that you're enjoying every minute of the weather, even though it's not that great today. There has been some sunshine outside, so I hope that you've been soaking it in. I hope that you've been walking proud in who you are and everything that you've accomplished thus far. And I hope that you're also standing in all the dreams that you have. And I hope that you pursue it with passion. So today I'm going to share with you what I did this past weekend. So this week in Unity in the Community, I said that I was full of purpose this past weekend. I was able to participate in a parade with the beautiful people of Elmont. I marched with Mirror Empowerment, my beautiful, beautiful queen that visits me ever so often here on the You're Our Unity show, Celine, and her Children's Empowerment Organization. We marched with the people of Elmont. And basically, yeah, everyone came out. We stopped all the traffic. We honored some amazing people. One in particular was the principal of Elmont Memorial High School, Mr. D. Mr. D is leaving this year, and he was awarded the key to Elmont. We had the councilwoman there, Patricia from Albany. We just spoke so highly of this man, and we celebrated him and all that he's done. He was able to turn that school district around. He made an organization for the young men in that community called Men of Elmont. They actually recognized him also last Thursday. And unfortunately, I don't have any pictures, but I took some amazing pictures of them celebrating and honoring all that he poured into them. He came from Harlem into the town of Elmont, and he just showered these young men with the gifts of knowledge and the gift that they are greatness. They are kings. They are everything that they they pour their heart into, and he showed them the road and the path in order to achieve those things. He stayed late, he came early. He was a man that sacrificed so much, and from what I understand from his speech, also even his own family life, so that he can pour into these children in this community. So I honored him, I loved him, I love him, and I just wish him the best in his future endeavors. But I know wherever he goes, he's going to do some great things. He mentioned before he left, don't be upset or don't cry, because it's over. He said, be happy because it happened. So I'm hoping that they continue his legacy, that they will continue to move forward and in his mission and making Elmont a better place for not only the generation now, but the generations to come. I thought it was truly a spectacular event, and the parade was amazing. I got my steps in. It was really, really good. But then I had to dash over to the Junior League's event. They had their spring fling, and the Junior League is an organization of women committed to promoting volunteerism, developing the potential of women, and improving communities through the effective action and leadership of trained volunteers. This organization held their spring fling, which was basically they were selling things, items, prized possessions from people who donated to them. There were so many beautiful items there for sale that they were giving away just to me for cheap. You might as well say you just made a donation of $10 to $20 for some really beautiful, priceless outfits and clothing and products. It was just truly, to me, a wonderful way for you to spend your money because you're giving back to this organization. This thrift shop has been in Roslyn for some time. I was not aware that it was there for that purpose. I've passed it many, many times and just thought it was a thrift shop from, maybe had some local artists, designers, materials in there. But no, this thrift shop is actually the communities. And so many people in the neighborhood and surrounding areas go and donate their designer wares as well, just for you to know, ladies out there. So they have some really, really nice items, and I think that you should take advantage and go down to the Junior League of Long Island's thrift store. So then I had to dash to a great meeting, and I say great because it warmed and it filled my heart. I met with these young ladies from Youth Community. It is an organization which their goal is to create a productive and safe space where members of the community are encouraged to tap into their greatest potential through arts, mentorship, charity, sports, education, and much more. I met with Janae. These are the founders, Janae, Alexa, and Elisa. These young ladies, their minds are just so amazing. They're intelligent. They want to make a change in this world. They graduated together at Old Westbury. They had a dream that they wanted to start an organization that gives back to their community. They were thinking they weren't going to do it for like another 10 years, and they said, why don't we just start it right now? And that's what they did. So we sat in this meeting and we built it together. We spoke about things that is on their mind and things that are on their hearts and the challenges that they're experiencing right now in their pursuit. And I was able to impart, some wisdom, some information and knowledge, and they educated me as well on some things that I was unaware of. And I thought it was a blessing, us coming together. Their mission is to bridge the gap between the leaders of today with the leaders of tomorrow. And that's the message that I actually got. And that's what my whole weekend was all about, was moving the needle forward, passing the torch, remembering where we came from, but also honoring those after us, celebrating them and pouring into them. That's what we're going to be doing today as well. The conversation I'm going to have with you today is about honoring our ancestors. Juneteenth is coming, and we need to stand on our greatness. The ones that came before us paved the way for us to realize everything that we were created to achieve and be. And if not for the grace and the will and the mercy of God, there is no reason why we cannot achieve those things. So let's step into our kings and our queendom. Let's live that out every single day. These young ladies and the people that I met this weekend, they were all just about inspiring and creating this community of peacemakers, peace builders, compassionate and loving people who are all in it for the same mission. And that's for us to just be unified in everything. Not necessarily agree, but at least compromise or just hear and listen. Hear each other out. That's what me and the youth community had this weekend. We hashed it out as women to women. We're going to be doing some great things together. So I want to talk to you today again about a wonderful woman who's also doing that, building bridges from the old generation to the new. She has personified it in the way she moves and what she wants out of life and what she's doing with her life right now. We're going to speak to Christine Dixon. And the name of the show, or the title, is Walking with Our Ancestors. For 10 years, Chris Dixon has been directing, producing, booking, and starring in the award-winning one-woman show, Harriet Tubman Herself. It started for the New York City actress with a small 4-show contract back in 2008 to perform the show, Harriet Tubman Herself, by the playwright Mona Murphy Martell. To her surprise, the bookings just didn't stop. In churches and schools and children's museums and performing arts centers, her one-woman show kept on rolling. Now, several years later, Harriet is her one-woman show is pretty much a full-time gig, and the actress is booked, blessed, and busy. Chris recently opened up for Dr. Elizabeth Eckford from the historic Little Rock Nine, a performance she will always cherish. She worked on numerous television shows such as Law and Order, Orange is the New Black, and Amazon's Mr. and Mrs. Smith, starring Childish Gambino, to name just a few. Chris has performed Tubman herself over 730 times in over 30 states and 3 countries, including the Caribbean. Chris created 7 different versions of the show, which she performs for dignitaries at museums, universities, charter schools, community centers, block parties, and private events. She also portrays an older Harriet Tubman in the short film Era, produced by Army veteran Delana Waldron, that has won awards in film festivals worldwide. Chris was named Best Actress in the New York Women in Film Festival. Chris can be seen featured in Megan Thee Stallion's Nike commercial and Crickett's Chris is Wearing the Glasses commercial. Here to share her walk with the ancestors, Chris D.
My train is heading for freedom. My train. My train is heading for freedom. My train. When folks get on board, it is always nighttime. When they get off, it is such a bright time. 'Cause my train is heading for freedom. My train.
Woo, girl. Thank you. Thank you. That was beautiful and powerful. And I saw you just taking a moment to just feel that power within you.
Yes.
So that you can not only just belt that out, but feel it from the core. Thank you so much for that.
You're welcome.
I so appreciate that.
Thank you for having me. It's an honor to be here with all of you. Thank you.
Thank you so much. I appreciate every moment, and I cannot wait to just share your story, everything that you're doing, the beauty in what you're doing.
Thank you.
I was mentioning today on my post I took a walk and I was thinking about all the blessings in my life, and even though there's so much going on, and even though we're so busy, and even though there's challenges, that we're still blessed. We're blessed with our life. We're blessed with our legs, with our voice, our breath. We're blessed with all of these wonderful things, and not to mention just the blessings of where I am today versus where I could have been. The blessings of what those before me actually sacrificed in order for me to be here. Yeah. So I love the fact that you're here, because that's what we're going to speak about today, like the walk, the path, the journey, and why it is important for us to share that with the world today and how it relates to who we are today. So thank you, my friend, for being here.
Thank you.
So I always ask my guests, before I really dig in, to just tell us a little about your upbringing, your childhood.
Well, I was born by a river.
Okay.
Just kidding, just kidding.
Really?
Just like the river, I've been running ever since, honey. It's been a long time coming, but I know a change is going to come.
I know.
I was born and raised in Brooklyn, New York.
Okay.
And my mom was an opera singer. She studied at the Conservatory of Music in Switzerland. Wow. My dad's side, when they came from Cuba, you know, they played the congos and all the drums, and I was never really much of my hands are too sensitive for that. But after my mom, I wanted to be an opera singer like my mother and a masseuse in addition. So I wanted to be an opera singing masseuse as a little girl. Ooh. And I never really cared for acting, never really cared about learning scripts and things like that. I do have phenomenal memory.
Right.
So at about maybe 14, 15, people were like, "Oh, Chris, we're going to do like a little short little film or little play I wrote last night. Can you be a part of it?"
Wow.
I was like, "I'm not an actress, but I'll help you out with everything else." And then I would read it, and I was off the first one off book, and I said, "Okay, I'll help you out." And then every time my mother would come home as a little girl from school, you would hear the keys jingling in the door.
Right.
And she would never say hello. She would never say anything. You would just hear the keys jingling, and then you would hear, Ave Maria. And then I'd run down the stairs, "Mommy's here, Mommy's here." And I'd run down the stairs and just start singing with her. Grazia plena Maria, grazia plena. And my mom would say, she would call me Tintin Pooh and Miss Sunshine Face because I was always smiling. She said, so she would say, "Tintin Pooh, you can sing, you can really sing." So I said, "Mommy, I want to be an opera singer like you." And she would say, "How do we get to Carnegie Hall? Practice, practice, practice."
I love it.
But yeah,
I love that. That's a beautiful story. So you had this creative, artistic side in you, even though you'd never thought you would be an actor or an actress or anything like that, but you clearly wanted to be a singer.
Only that. I just wanted to be a singer and a masseuse.
Well, that's what I was about to say, because let me tell you, your voice could literally put someone to sleep. So I think that's a business within itself. You need to market it just as that, you know?
I'll hire you as my manager.
Musical masseuse is what you are.
Masseuse.
That's who you are. Thank you.
Where's the crick?
I love it.
I'll think about it.
No, you really do.
I might have a market in Vegas. Let me see. I'll think about it. I'm in Vegas every 3 months, so we'll see.
Oh, no, I really do. I think that is a wonderful talent. And the fact that you love to soothe people, because that's what masseuses do. They soothe them, calm them. And that's what your voice does. So now you realize you have this voice. You're obviously can act. People are asking you all the time, can you perform in their plays or anything like that?
Probably because I was a cheap hire. I don't know if it was because I could act.
No,
maybe because I was a cheap hire.
No, it's because you
You'll feed me? I'll do it, Bobby. Let's do it.
You had it, and they saw that you had it.
Well, I didn't see it.
Look at you now. They saw it, and that's why they were asking you all this time. So as you were doing it, did you sort of get the bug, or you really?
No, I still don't have the bug.
Wow.
No. See, so okay, I know what I do is acting and all that jazz, and I do not like labels. However, if I were to label myself, I am an edutainer. I educate you as I entertain you. So my thing is mostly, how can I educate you, but in an entertaining way, as opposed to, I can just pick up a book and, this is Harriet Tubman, as was enslaved. But there's more her than
Than
that.
that.
There's more to me than that, you know?
Right.
And I just, yeah, it's just.
That's beautiful, though.
People keep offering me roles. I'm like, will you feed me?
Well, obviously, I think it's because of your method then. You embody the character. You take on their weight. You take on who they are. You, from what I saw, you really just transform yourself to that moment. So, finally now, because I know there was, a path that you took to this place right now. Well, we want to speak about Harriet Tubman and how you arrived.
Yeah, the blood, the sweat,
We
the
want to
tears.
know how you arrived at that
Oh.
moment. I did not want to be an actor, but I'm an
That's
great,
how I make my living
amazing
now. That's
singer.
how I make my
Exactly.
living. That's-
Now I'm an edutainer. You get this grant. You take on this responsibility of sharing with the world the story of Harriet Tubman. How did that come about?
Long story, really long story.
Well,
long story, medium.
yeah.
Hollywood book and theater critic Morna Murphy Martell. She was also the editor-in-chief of the Hollywood Reporter for approximately 15 years before Billboard came in and bought it.
Okay.
And it became very corporate, so, she decided to part ways. And she focused more on writing and playwriting. However, when she came to America at 13 from England,
Wow.
born in Ireland, one of the first African American women she read about was Harriet Tubman. And so she said, when I make it as a huge acting sensation in America, I'm going to write this woman's story. Wow. Her first job in America was opposite Billy D. Williams on Broadway in A Taste of Honey.
Really?
And so, yes. So they toured the country. Billy D. Williams brought her to the West Coast, introduced her to his team. She got signed on. And then from there, she kind of wanted to focus more on the writing. She was an understudy to Angela Lansbury on Broadway.
Wow.
And then she got the job to be the editor-in-chief at the Hollywood Reporter. So she would be at events and Betty Davis would walk in. She was at another event. Josephine Baker walked in. Yeah. Anyway, long story short, so fast forward approximately 50 years later. So she met a young man.
Right.
Ralph Martell from Brooklyn.
Okay.
Just an amazing composer, lyricist, writer. He's Rodgers and Hammerstein in one.
Right.
Just a brilliant man. So he could write any song, any theme, anything. So Morna would write plays and he would do the score. So they ran a theater in Hollywood for approximately 10 years.
Wow.
And then fast forward decades later,
Right.
Papa Ralph Martell decides, let's go back to the East Coast. And then our paths cross. Now, while they're transitioning to the East Coast, my family's telling me, you're really not that great, for one. You're kind of a little butterball, for two. And seriously, and for three, I had a terrible stutter speech impediment till I was 13 years old.
Wow.
So when I would sing Ave Maria, I would kind of, my nose ring, I would kind of get stuck because it's Wow. And my mom's like, you can hold that note, honey. I'm like, I can't. I'm stuck. I'm stuck.
Oh my
And so I never thought that I would be speaking for a living.
Right.
And my mom and dad took me to so many speech therapists and linguists. And one day my mom sat me in the kitchen and said, tell me, how was your day? Oh, she's like, stop. Don't tell me your day. And she said, your mind is racing and it cannot keep up with your mouth.
Yep.
So my mother said, try to do this. For every word, touch your fingertips.
Wow.
But I know you can't go through life touching your fingertips, so keep your hands in your pockets.
Wow.
And so I did that for approximately 3 years.
Really? And it worked?
It worked. And it was hard because freshman year in high school, I was always smiling,
Yes,
but I was
would you-
afraid to speak because I didn't want to be, I was 4'11", and size 11 shoe.
Yeah.
And so, you know, they were like, freshman Friday, we're going to beat you up. I'm like, no, Mama said, no, don't you dare. I can laugh at it now, but it was horrible. Look, my tiara's falling, my nose ring. It was horrible. But anyway, long story short. So, yes. And so,
Wow.
fast forward over 4 decades later, They moved to the East Coast. My family's telling me you're too much of a butterball, you're too short, you know, you don't really, can't really sing. And so I'm like, let me not tell them my dreams and aspirations.
Right.
And I just kept it to myself. And so one day, I was living around the corner from Brooklyn College. I said, okay. So this is exactly what happened. I went outside, there was a patch of grass. And just like this, I said, Allah, Buddha, Yahweh, Yeshua, universe, the infinite one, the holy one, baby Buddha, I know something exists that is greater than me. I don't know what to call you. I don't know what your plan is or your path is for my life. But if it's not show business, remove this passion from my heart. And my family's telling me to go to law school, go to med school, be a banker, be an RN.
Oh, wow.
Just get married and be a housewife. I don't want to do any of those things. I just want to use my voice. But if it's not your will, give me another sign. And you have 30 days. No, I'm serious. That was my exact prayer. And I'm looking up. I didn't break my eye. I barely blinked. I'm just looking up to the heavens. It was a beautiful sunny day. And I said, you have 30 days to give me a sign. And if this is not your will, put any other passion and desire in my heart, take it away from me. For good, dispose of it. If this is not your will, and you have 30 days to give me another calling from my life. And then I said, amen.
Oh, my Lord.
And then
you just went on your way.
Yes, well, so, and the agreement was, I will not read any Hollywood Reporters. I will not read any publications from show business. I will not do any auditions. I will not even speak about show business to anyone. And you have 30 days.
Yeah.
And then I said, amen.
Yeah.
I went upstairs. I took a bath. And for the next 30 days, I took a bath. I went to bed. I took a bath. That's all I did. I took a bath. I went to bed. I took a bath and went to bed. 30 days later, checked my email. Nothing.
Wow.
31 days later, nothing. The 33rd day, nothing. The 34th day, I said, hey, wait a minute, Yahweh, Yeshua, baby Buddha, Jesus, Allah, I gave you 30 days. My mother said, you want to make the creator laugh? Tell him your plans. So I said, well, fine. I said, well, fine then. You didn't tell me to leave show business, but you didn't tell me what you wanted me to do in my life. So, and then the 34th day, I checked my email. We're having auditions for an interactive musical on Staten Island. Can you please attend? I said, oh, thank you, baby Buddha. Thank you, baby Jesus. Thank you, baby Allah. Thank you, baby Yahweh. Thank you, baby Jesus. Yes. And then, and I was actually late because I forgot it was that day. And I slipped. I was stuck in the rain. My mascara wasn't waterproof. So I slipped down these stairs. There was no lamp. It was at Snug Harbor Cultural Center where the military used to live. These grounds have been there since approximately 1833.
Wow.
Seriously. So I'm running, and it was in the chapel where the Navy used to pray.
Right.
But there were no lights, and it was pouring, so I slipped down the stairs. And when I got up, there happened to be, it was a little dark, so I'm reaching, and there was a doorknob, so I pulled it open, I pushed it, and when I get inside, I'm soaking wet, mascara bleeding, red lips smeared, Mona, curly red hair, big blue eyes.
Wow.
Oh, hello, darling, you've made it! And I was like, am I late?
Do I look like I made it?
Yes.
Wow.
And I couldn't catch my breath. And she said, okay, darling, we leave in 5 minutes. Please sing now.
Wow.
And I'm like this. Oh, holy night, the stars are brightly shining. She said, stop. That's my favorite song in the whole wide world. And then a year went by, I never heard from them.
Really?
A year goes by. She said that was her favorite song. I never heard from them. And approximately 13 months go by, I get a call. Hello, darling. She's the only English person to call me. So I'm like, Morna? Woman, I auditioned for you a year ago. What? It's been 13 months. What happened? She's like, oh, yes, we went on. The production was fabulous. Anyway, that's not why I'm calling you. And I was like, wait, you went on with the production without me, and it was fabulous, but I wasn't a part of it. How is it fabulous, darling? So she calls me up, and she said, I would like to hire you to be my lead singing reindeer Dasher in an interactive children's Christmas musical. I said, wait. I haven't heard from you in 13 months, and you want me to be your lead singing reindeer. Not even Rudolph. Well, it's copywritten, so you trademark. I can't be Rudolph anyway.
Exactly.
I'm like, Dasher? Well, who is he, a new Disney character? Like, who's Dasher? And so I said, please hold. And I ran right back down the stairs to that exact same spot. Same exact thing, baby Jesus, Allah, Buddha, Yahweh, Yeshua, Universe, Holy One. I prayed, I fasted. It's been 13 months. And you're giving me a reindeer?
Yep.
And you're not telling me whether or not you want me to accept it or not. So I'm going to go up those stairs and I'm going to say yes. However, if it is not your will, block it. Amen. No, I'm saying that was my exact prayer. If it's not your will, block it. I went back up the stairs. She was on hold the entire time.
Wow.
Took it off. Mona, yes, darling, is everything all right? I said, okay, I'll do it. She said, I'll give you $100 a show. Oh, well, I'll do it. I didn't even think about the payment. I said, I'll definitely do it. Wow. We opened up. And it's my job to be on stage. I have to get all the children from every audience on stage with me. And so Santa Claus gets kidnapped by these little children, but they're a part of the script.
Right.
But the children on stage with me don't know they're a part of the script. Wow. So they had a real lasso, the children, and they're dressed all in black, and they throw the lasso around Santa, and he's yelling for me as he's twirling off stage, Dasher, please help me. So my back is to everyone, but I read the script, so I know what's going on. Right. So I'm looking forward, and the children behind me, 25, scream, run off the stage. Santa's off stage. The demon children are off stage. I am now on stage by myself. Wow. I'm not classically trained. I have no idea what to do. So I'm sitting there on stage, and I'm just trying to make eye contact with a parent, like, can somebody help me? And I'm just standing there. I look at Mona and Ralph, and they're like, sing. Nope. They really? Fold their arms, like, how you gonna get out of this one? And I'm like,
with a full audience looking at you,
65 audience members.
Wow.
And I'm like, looking at them like,
wow.
And they're like,
so you rose to the occasion. What did you do? What did you do?
I quickly said a breath prayer. Holy Spirit, please guide me. I heard something say, go into the audience and find the chubbiest little boy. I'm like, okay. I walk right to Tommy, the cutest, chubbiest little boy there. Tommy, can you please come back on stage with me? We have a show to finish. No, I'm never going back on stage. I'm never going back on stage. Get away from me. Tommy kicked me in my shin.
The kids did not want to perform any longer and left you by...
They left me all by myself.
I cannot believe it, girl. So this is your experience in that play.
But get this. So, what? But it ties into Harriet. So I'm like, Tommy, please, can you please come back on stage with me? No, never. Tommy, what if I let you be Rudolph? Rudolph is the greatest. He's the #1 reindeer in the world. I'm Dasher. I'm #2. Rudolph is #1. Please come on stage and I'll let you lead the rest of the show. I can be Rudolph? Yes, but you gotta come on stage with me right now because everyone's watching. We got a show to finish.
Yes.
And I put out my finger. Tommy took it. I said, okay, just as long as I can reach one. Get back on. As I'm walking to the stage, when I turn around, the other 24 children are back on stage with me.
Right behind
I didn't know that Mona said at that point she knew she found her Harriet. That night, Mona went home and created the original concept of Harriet Tubman herself.
Really?
And she submitted, we got a grant. She got the grant from Staten Island Arts for only 4 shows. So at the 4th show, I was like, oh, thank you, Lord, no more of this. Oh my goodness, because all I knew about Harriet Tubman prior was the Underground Railroad.
Right,
that's
exactly.
All I knew.
Yes.
That is
which
legit
is a lot of us.
all I knew.
Yes.
But the research, it was taken from, scenes from in the life and times of Harriet Tubman from Sarah Hopkins Bradford, 1868, published 1869.
Wow.
She was a white school teacher who did not believe that a black woman was capable of outwitting white men, white sheriffs, white bounty hunters, any white person. And Harriet Tubman's mother, whose real name is Harriet Ross, but they called her Rit, because Harriet Tubman changed her name to Harriet.
Right.
Her birth name is Araminta Ross.
Yes.
Her father's name is Ben Ross. And so Harriet changed her name to Harriet after her darling mother, who she admired so much. So Rit, her mother, who's a senior, is like, knows, Miss Sarah, my daughter's Harriet. She sure did outsmart them white boys. She sure did free thousands of people. Yep. Your daughter, a Negro.
Yep.
I want to meet her and interview her myself.
Yep.
And so they sent message through song. Because our ancestors, we usually sent messages through songs, and the overseers and masters wouldn't understand. Yeah, like wade in the water. That told our ancestors to travel through the waters because dogs cannot follow a human scent through the water. And our ancestors always traveled with black pepper and raw onions. Do you know why?
Why?
So we traveled with black pepper. We sprinkled it behind us. The dogs would lose our scent.
Yes.
After we'd come out of the water, we would take the raw onions, rub it over our bodies. The onions would get into our pores. Once again, they would take away our scent. And the fried cornmeal, the hush puppies, we would throw them down and it would make those dogs hush.
Go away. That's right.
It'd make them hush, baby.
That's right.
You know, so we always travel with black pepper and the raw onions. And so Harriet Tubman, when she did the interview, she still didn't believe her. She said, who are your two closest friends in life? She said, Frederick Douglass and Captain John Brown. And Sarah Hopkins Bradford said, I want a letter of recommendation from Captain John Brown, a white man very revered, and Frederick Douglass, a black man very revered amongst blacks and whites. He lived in Ireland for many years. And so Harriet Tubman had to meet with them and get them to write letters. There were men and one was white. So Sarah Hopkins Bradford did not believe anything Harriet told her. She had no reason to lie until she read Captain John Brown's words and Frederick Douglass's words.
And then all of a sudden,
and
she was had like, credibility.
Darn, Negro, you really did. But at the time, Harriet couldn't read, so she couldn't read what Sarah Hopkins Bradford wrote. So some of the violence, like Harriet Tubman said, when you deal with a snake, you never just wound it. You have to cut off its head.
Yes, yes.
That she left out. Harriet Tubman had to pop a few people, like they say in Texas. Sometimes folks need a killing. You know.
Yes.
But yeah, and so Mona Murphy Martell got her hands on that book, and so my show is based on her original concept of that. But over the years, the last 10 years, I've created something completely different. It's even more interactive. I incorporated, you know, Etta James' song. I have 7 different versions of Harriet Tubman herself. And I perform for everyone. The majority of my audiences are white people, you know, which is great.
I think that is great. And the fact that your message and what you're showcasing is reaching them. Let me ask you, what are they saying about your performance? Because I know it is that beautiful, powerful song that you start off with, but take us, you know, through a performance and an actual performance.
Okay, so this year I hit the 700th mark. So February 1st, 2023 was my 700th show at the Santa Barbara Maritime Museum. So I drove there. I drove there from Brooklyn. Took me 67 hours all by myself.
Oh my goodness!
I drive to LA all by myself.
I love to drive too, girl, but Lord!
Every 3 months, it's amazing. So I get to the Maritime Museum, packed house. They had a little reception for everyone. So the lights are black. They introduced me, ladies and gentlemen. We have our great ancestor here, Harriet Tubman herself, and then the lights go black. So the audience is expecting me to, you know, come out from in front of them. And then the entire room was pitch black. Now, okay, yeah, it was pitch black. And then you hear, my train. I come walking from the back of the house with my lantern. And then the audience is like, wait, but it's so dark. So then I turn the lantern on. So all you see is something floating towards you.
Yes.
And so I had the lantern on, and then I put the lantern up, so now they see my eyes and my mouth, and then I fist bump every single person. As I'm walking to the stage. And then I put the lantern down, and then I slowly start clapping. And then I tell the audience, you all better clap with me.
That's right.
And then when the audience claps, the light only above my head, which is the Fresnel lens, which is this massive lens that the French made approximately 1825, 1826, because, which is one of my shows now, the lighthouses in this country. When approximately 1790, they were all built by people who look like us. But it was illegal for us to work inside of the lighthouse, to be a lighthouse keeper. So when they first came up, the lighthouse, little winding staircase all the way to the top, your job is to make sure the ships can see you and help get them to shore. Now, it was a flame. in like a crock pot pan. It was an open flame. You had about 10 candles, but the flame must be flickering 24/7, 365.
Right.
So imagine you're there with the flame,
Yep.
and you're holding up the pot,
Yes.
and it's your job 24/7, 365.
Wow.
And the quarters are so small, you're in there by yourself,
Wow.
3 to 5 months at a time.
Wow.
The walls are wood, the roofs are lead. No one knew about lead poison at the time.
Right.
And then, so you're holding that flame.
Right. With this beautiful
With this-
light. Yes,
And you're holding
flickering.
it so that way the lights can see. But every time the flame would go, the wick would burn down.
Right.
So then you have to quickly light more candles. So then from there they went to, okay, let's get a lantern with the real open flame.
Right, right.
So now your job is to hold it there with the real open flame. And you're still kind of like getting sleepy, and the walls are wood. So your job is to make sure it does not catch on fire, the lighthouse.
Wow.
And it did numerous times. And because the ceilings are lead, you're in London, there are many accidents where the lead ceilings turn to liquid. And because the men are looking up, they actually ingested the liquid lead. And it actually formed like a little brick in their stomach. And that's how the gentleman died. But
You are
just amazing story.
Well, it is.
But
My
the
goodness.
point
But the
is-
light,
yeah,
yes,
but
from the
point
light.
is, the light above my head is a Fresnel lens that finally the United States government incorporated during the Civil War.
Right.
So as opposed to our people holding, well, it was illegal. November 1st, 1863,
Right,
the
right.
United States Department of Treasury made it illegal for any person of color to watch the lighthouse. Now we could cook for you.
But wait,
Yes.
I need to understand, when you're on stage
Yes.
and you have this light coming down on you, when you are performing as Harriet Tubman, what happens before that moment? Because I saw
feel
you
warmth come over
preparing.
me.
Yes, what is
Yeah.
that feeling? Because you have all of this information and knowledge. You're like walking in that moment. Like, I feel like you are part of that time period by the information that you share. So tell me what you take on before you actually start performing. What is that like?
Well, it's funny you should ask me that, because I wasn't really sure what it was until Harriet Tubman's great-great-grandniece, Pauline Johnson,
Wow.
squeezed my hand and said, "Baby, you're the only one I know who does this show all year round for a living, and you are my absolute favorite.
Wow.
This is your ministry. This is your calling. This is not a job.
Yep.
This is your life's mission."
Yep.
And I said, "Oh dear, I feel a little bit of pressure, but I got the seal of approval from Harriet Tubman's
Yes.
living descendant.
Yes.
It doesn't get any better than that."
How did that make you feel? Like, what did that?
It made me feel like you better never suck.
Yes.
Chris, you better drive the Cadillac, lines, pace. Don't you ever suck.
Don't you ever stop.
Don't you ever suck. Not stop.
Oh,
suck.
suck.
S-U-C-K.
She said, don't you ever
suck. And
Oh
so,
my God.
but so I guess that made me more cognizant of, because I would just, put on my costume and go to the back and wait for the intro and my train.
Mm-hmm.
But then after Pauline Johnson said that to me, I was more cognizant, so I started putting on my clothes even slower. I did about 200 shows completely barefoot. And this lantern is a gift from the Whitney Houston Academy. They love my show so much. They're like, "Please take this everywhere you go with you." So we've been to 29 states and 2 countries. This lantern,
it,
if you
yes.
could speak, baby.
I
if
know
you
the
could speak.
stories they could tell.
Yeah. And so after that, after every show, so that was my 200 show.
Right.
So that's 500 shows ago.
Right.
I met Pauline Johnson, Harriet Tubman's great-great-grandniece.
Wow.
And so I noticed that after I would close my eyes, take a deep breath in, 4 counts, exhale, 4 counts, I would feel, I don't know, I felt this warmth come over me. And then it felt like, I don't know how to explain, but I felt this warmth come over me, and something warm would happen in my stomach. And then I'm by myself.
Right.
I would hear, "Go." And then I would go, "My train."
Wow.
And then I didn't know I could hold the note. People said I couldn't sing. I sucked. And I only had 3 voice lessons in my entire life. And so after the show at the Santa Barbara Maritime Museum, February 1st this year, I have a question and answer session after each and every show where I stay in character as Harriet Tubman.
Wow.
And the question, the woman, Mary, she raised her hand, and she said, when did you know you had a powerful voice? Wow. 5 years ago, Mary? They're like, oh, stop it, you had a power.
Yes.
But no, but people, like my family said I sucked.
Yeah.
But yeah, and
No,
so.
you got a voice. You was just afraid to use it, girl.
Maybe I just, maybe it wasn't, maybe I was afraid to use it, but maybe it took them, Mama Morna and Papa Ralph. They've never had children, so I refer to them as my parents now.
Right.
My parents are gone.
That
They joined the
support,
ancestors.
yes.
That support. So every 3 months when I drive to LA, I take them food shopping, I take them to doctor's appointments,
Oh, my
clothing,
God.
shopping, whatever. I'm their daughter. They are my parents. And
I
it's
love
funny,
it.
she's Irish, she's Italian, so when you see us, people think I'm their home health aide.
Right.
And they're like, this is our daughter. Your daughter? But she's so dark. What do you mean she's your daughter?
They don't
And
get
so
it.
I'm like, you can just tell them you adopted me.
Exactly,
You know,
because
and
that's
so-
literally.
Yeah, basically it is what it is.
Exactly,
And
it is
she
what it
actually
is.
filled out the paperwork and everything
my
to adopt
God.
me. But
I
yeah,
love that. I
and so-
love that story is really amazing because again, something that you wasn't expecting to be
No.
doing, but then you went on this path and you embodied her, you researched her, you know so much about her that you have even mentioned that people think you're her, which is
Yeah, the children.
Yes.
During the Q&A, I'm like, children, when did I die?
Yes.
What do you mean
Yes.
you died? No. They're 6 years old, so they actually started crying.
Oh,
I
my
said,
goodness.
baby, Harriet's here, baby. I didn't go
Yes.
anywhere, baby. I'm right
Oh,
here.
my
I'm right here,
God.
baby.
Well, what do you want them to learn? What do you want us to learn, about this one woman show and the reason why you've taken on this role of bringing her back to life?
Yeah, well, I didn't mean to do it.
I
It's
know,
not
but
my
you're
fault.
doing it very well, my
thank you, but
friend.
after each and every show, word of mouth. I've only promoted the show on Facebook as far as like an actual promotion once in my life, and that's when I started off Broadway last year. And every show is word of mouth. After each and every show, I receive 7 to 15 bookings after each and every
Wow,
show.
that is
I don't even
amazing.
use social media.
And you're meeting all of these
Amazing people, like
actresses and
yeah,
actors
Angela
and the
Bassett was like,
business.
"You're Harriet." I'm like, "Yeah."
Exactly.
Steven Spielberg said, "You're Harriet." I said, "Steven, don't let the red lips and the tiara fool you." I said, "I clean up nicely on the plantation, darling." Even Nicolas Cage was like, "You're Harriet Tubman." I'm like, "Yes, darling." And being with Michael Kenneth
Oh, my
Williams, may he
God.
rest in peace, from
Yes,
The Wire
yes,
and Boardwalk
I saw, yes.
Empire, and just a darling man. And he's
Yes.
like, "You Harriet Tubman." I'm like, I know, darling, I know, but
Do you
yeah.
get lost in her? Do you?
I do. I don't
You
even.
do.
So when they applaud, so 730 shows, the last 725 were standing ovations.
Wow.
And they're not. It's not my
Yeah.
ovation. It's Harriet's. 'Cause
Yeah.
I still feel like I don't know what I'm
Yeah.
doing. I'm just showing up to have fun.
Yeah.
I'm just showing up to remind everyone. Look at what Harriet went through.
Yes.
No car.
Yes.
No social media.
Yeah.
No bank account.
Yeah.
No savings.
Yeah.
No education.
Yeah.
Look, but her faith.
Yeah.
She believed that she could free herself.
Yeah.
She believed that she would free her ancestors. She went back and forth and back and forth. She could have stayed in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, and
Yep.
said, "God freed me.
Yep.
You on your own, sugar.
That's
Just
right.
pick up her feet."
Yes.
But she said, "My mission is greater than that."
That's right.
And then when she went to Canada, when she went up to Canada, to St. Catharines, Ontario, that exact same church I performed in 2 weeks ago.
Wow.
That was my 729th show.
Yes.
The minute I walked into the side door, it said freedom.
I love it.
And it has the same, from 1857, it's still there.
Right.
They didn't redo that, but they redid the basement.
Wow, I think we got a picture of you
Kissing
actually.
the bust of her?
Yes, kissing the bust of her. That was really a beautiful picture.
Yeah,
I
I
know
started
what
crying.
amazing. I could imagine.
I started crying.
I was about to say, what was that moment? What did it feel like? Because
It felt
you
like I
literally
came full
took that
circle.
trip. You took that trip.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. So that's me kissing the bust.
Oh, wow.
And then Well, actually, I wasn't kissing. My mom said I'm kissing her. I wasn't kissing her. I was whispering thank you.
Aw.
But my mother said you're kissing her, so I just
Yes.
ran with that.
Yes, you
and then
were.
that's the actual me in the actual church, her behind me. So I just touched her face and I just sang Ave Maria to her as I'm just crying. This is after I performed. And I just said thank you, because a lot of times people choose to do Harriet Tubman.
yes.
I really believe she chose me.
You, yes, I agree.
So when I fasted and prayed
Yes.
to baby Buddha, baby Yahweh, baby
Yep.
Yeshua that
Yep.
day, when I asked them to give me the path that you want for me,
Yep.
and it took 13 months, but everything is in the universe's
Yep.
time, not my
That's
time.
right, and it's
'Cause if it
aligned
would've-
exactly
it's
the
aligned
way
perfectly.
it's supposed to have
Yes.
happened, my friend.
Yes, because I wouldn't have been ready before.
Thank you.
Because I book it, I direct it, I
Yep.
produce it, I star in it, I'm my chauffeur, I am my wardrobe mistress, I'm hair, I am makeup. I would not have had
Yes.
the discipline. I
Yes.
think I would have just
Yes.
fumbled
He
this.
needed you to be prepared.
Yeah, exactly.
And you got prepared in that 13 months.
In that
You
13
prepared
months,
yourself for
I was
this moment.
frustrated, so I just kept
Oh my
praying and
God.
fasting. I was
Well,
for 13
before,
months.
because the time is winding down, and I want you guys to get an idea of what one of her powerful shows is actually like. So we're going to show you real quick. Harriet Tubman herself. That was amazing.
Thank
I really love it. Tell us what is so important about what you do, and especially how important it is for, the Black excellence of us.
Yes.
And Juneteenth is coming.
Oh,
Speak
yes,
to us.
Juneteenth.
Speak to us.
Yeah, General William
Yes,
Granger. Oh my
please.
goodness. Men once. General William Granger got on horseback with 2 other men. Took him over a year, actually a year, approximately 10 months, to get from South Carolina to Texas. And when he arrived, June 19th, 1865, he was like, excuse me, y'all
y'all's
are
free.
Because November 1st, 1864, in Baltimore, Maryland, our ancestors were given their freedom.
Yes.
But our ancestors in Galveston, Texas did not know till June 19th, 1865. So they were just celebrating happy parades, barbecues,
Yes.
just everything just amazing,
Yes.
and our history did not begin with slavery. We are an amazing, resilient people. Harriet was so resilient. Even the head injury she sustained at 13 years young, which her injury's right here. Mine is here.
Wow.
Same exact spot.
Wow.
I was pushed down the stairs at 8 years old, church steps.
Wow.
But Harriet was almost killed for helping to free the very first person who was enslaved at the age of 13 years young. So she would want us all to remember she was a real woman. She had a real story. Like, look how much further we can all go. Never let anyone define you. Never let anyone put you inside of a box.
Yes.
Remember the ancestors who came before you. Dr. Maya Angelou said, I come as one and I stand as 10,000.
Yes.
And Dr. Maya Angelou said, we are bringing the gifts that our ancestors gave. We are the hope and the dream of the slave. And so we rise, we rise, we rise. And remember that we are all enough. We are beautiful. All of life supports us. And never let your complexion or anything, your disabilities, anything that you have, your height, your weight, let nothing stop you. Nothing stopped Harriet. And all of us have little bits of Harriet Tubman inside of us.
Yeah, so live and stand in it, my friend. I love it. Thank you so much. Oh my God, you're coming back. Please put up her information where you can find her. Please check her out. You can follow her on Facebook and Instagram at Harriet Tubman herself. Exactly, as well as her commercial. Oh, I wanted to show it, but we don't have time right now. We'll do it the next time.
Sure, yeah.
Okay, also we will get real quick. I think, wait, her information you should have. Oh, all right. Well, maybe we'll do it before the end of the show. It's at Harriet Tubman, exactly, herself.
Email Harriet Tubman herself at gmail.com. So everything's Harriet Tubman herself, HERSELF.
All right, there we go.
Yeah, there you go.
That is perfect. Thank you so much, Chris.
I
so appreciate you.
You're amazing.
Oh, you are amazing. All right, we're going to get real quick to the Dare to Be You. And the Dare to Be You is, we inherit from our ancestors gifts so often taken for granted. Each of us contains within this inheritance of soul. We are links between the ages, containing past and present expectations, sacrificed memories, and future promises. I love it. That's exactly what we spoke to today. That's exactly what this woman has just been transforming herself into every show, every moment. I appreciate you and everything that you're doing and sharing with the world. And I hope that we see the beauty in the work that she's doing, the education, the information, the knowledge, and just the wisdom that you're imparting to everyone with what you're speaking and what you're singing from your heart. So I appreciate you and I appreciate everything you do. Please check her out. Follow her at Harriet Tubman herself on Instagram, Facebook, as well as her website. Thank you guys so much for tuning in to another wonderful episode of Our Unity. It has been a blessing to be with you this evening. I want you to have a wonderful week. Please remember that peace and love is in the palm of our hands. Let's go out there and be some love, share some love, and just spread an abundance of love. I love you. I want you to have an amazing evening as well. And we're going to say good night. Chris, you want to sing us out?
When folks get on board, it's always nighttime. When they get off, it is such a bright time. My train, well, our train is heading for freedom.
Strong Island Entertainment.